Salutations and welcome to another episode of Amicable H. I'd explain the name, but you'd just get even more confused. Joining me as always is my co-host. He's the pride of Belfast. He's Declan McRory. Woo! So today we're doing a short episode, much like the Edgar Wright, but only this time we're going to be discussing 4 films of Matthew Vaughan. Yeah, that's right. We've got the two Kingsman classics. Well, I don't know about that. They're good though. They're good. And then we got Stardust, of course, and then just the first Kick-Ass. Found out due to good old Wikipedia, he only directed the first one.
Which is good because neither of us have seen Kick-Ass.
I've seen it. I really don't like it.
Fair. I know it was very much just rushed out.
Yeah, it was such a flop. I came out of the cinema thinking, "Oh, this is great," and then it wasn't that good when I thought about it for a second longer.
Yeah, one of those ones that you go like, "Wait a minute, I've been robbed."
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Yeah.
Because there was this guy I was talking to, and he was like, "Oh, I hope this is not going to be the ones that less the first film down." And then I went out thinking, "Oh, it's not." And then 2 seconds later, I was like, "Oh no, it's one of the best examples of the first."
What cast is in Kick-Ass too? Is Chloe Moretz, Nicolas Cage and stuff with it as well?
Well, he's not.
Oh, wait, Nicolas Cage, sure. Spoiler die.
But everyone, okay, there are going to be spoilers in this if you haven't seen any of the films.
We'll try not with Kingsman 2.
We'll try not with Kingsman 2 because it's the most recent. A lot of people haven't had a chance yet.
Yeah, I think to be fair, there's not much spoiler except, it's pretty clear from the trailer that Colin Firth comes back. That's what
you see him. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So we know that, but we'll try to avoid talking too much
about that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
We talk about the first one more. I think there's probably more to mention there.
That's
anyway.
Fair. Yeah, it is. So what do you want to start with?
Should we start with Kingsman? Okay, so the plot of Kingsman 1, according to IMDb, and I quote, "A spy organisation recruits an unrefined but promising street kid into the agency's ultra-competitive training programme, just as a global threat emerges from a twisted tech genius." So what was your first impression of Kingsman number 1?
I'll admit, it took me, so I went into the little ditty about this. So I was doing an exchange trip in the States.
Oh, nice.
And we all went to the cinema one night. And it wasn't like it was just like the Americans went, "Oh, well, everyone go to the 30 of us will go to the cinema, and then afterwards we'll get food."
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a half socialising, half,
Yeah.
And we had a choice of film, and Kingsman had literally just come out.
Yeah.
I had seen the trailer, it looked a bit goofy, and yes, Colin Firth in it, but Colin Firth is also in Mamma Mia, so I think that says enough about that. And I can't even remember the lead actor's name.
Taron Egerton.
I never remember his name. But he's a pretty unknown. Obviously, he's becoming more known now.
He is now, yeah. He wasn't then.
You wouldn't read his name in a poster and go, "Oh,
yeah."
It's like reading Mark Wahlberg. It's just like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
I think he's not a good example.
Actually, no, he's more of a star.
Yeah, but what do you call it? But yeah, so people were just going, "Oh, well, we'll go see this or that." And the 2 films are all at the same time. In my memory were Kingsman. I actually think it was another film out as well, but I can't think. I'll actually look it up.
That was going to be my question.
But anyway, everyone else went to Kingsman. And I thought maybe we were making a good claim because I'd heard Jupiter Ascending is actually a very good book series.
Yeah.
People raved that it would be, again, look at the cast. And people were like, "Yeah, it's going to be amazing." And hey, press, that was awful. And people, I think, looked at Kingsman and went, "Oh, James Bond ripoff." And it was the opposite. People were massively like, "Oh my god."
It was really good, yeah.
So yeah, I didn't see Kingsman when it first came out.
No, neither did I. Quite recent, to be fair.
Oh,
I
really?
think probably this year.
Yeah, actually, probably so. Yeah.
Or late last year if it wasn't this year.
But yeah, what were your first impressions when you watched it?
I was pretty much hooked from the start.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because I know it's not really anything new, but they don't really want to do anything new, do they?
No, I don't think they are trying to push boundaries.
No, the slight changes that they keep lampshading, they are enough for me to think this is something a bit different.
Yeah.
Because it's they spies who wear suits, but there's an emphasis on the fact they're gentlemen, sort of because there's no emphasis on James Bond being a gentleman. He shags everything.
I think they're trying to claim. They're he's so romantic. It's not romantic. He's one drink away from roofing you.
Well, James Bond,
he's very rapey.
He is. And the thing, in Kingsman, and this, I'm not going to count this as a spoiler because I don't think anyone cares about this detail. But, he does end up getting laid at the end of Kingsman. But in the second film, that's his girlfriend. So that's, that'd be unimaginable in a James Bond film.
Yeah, absolutely. Where it's who's the Bond girl?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, girl of the week. Film.
Yeah. What do you call it? And even it's what's the word for it? I mean, again, as you said, putting like pop songs in a soundtrack and having pop songs during a fight scene and stuff aren't new,
No,
but they are good enough tropes. So
yeah, you don't get tired of them. Yeah,
yeah. So no, it was a fun film. It was weird, and I don't think you can go into it actually thinking it's a masterpiece because it's
no,
intentionally not.
it's intentionally not. Yeah,
Like I don't think they made it and went, oh, how do we no. It's just like what's gonna be really funny if this happened, you know. Like everyone loves seeing Colin Firth beat the shit out of people.
Yeah.
And I do too.
Now, if you thought like one detail would be this closest to being like in a masterpiece, what would you pick?
Well, how would I change it? Do we know how?
No, no, like if there's one bit of it that's like really good, it's like wouldn't be out of place in a masterpiece film.
I might be wrong to say this. Probably cinematography.
Cinematography.
I think it
cool.
looks very what's the word for it? It looks the same way that like Edgar Wright films and Tarantino films look. I think you actually wouldn't expect.
Yeah, it's not far behind, no.
Again, obviously not cinematography in the same way that like you know an artsy Terrence Malick film is cinematography. It's just you know it's just cinematography.
I've only seen one of his films.
Which have we seen?
The one young Martin Sheen, Badlands.
Oh yeah. He's great, but what do you call it? But yeah, it's not cinematography as in like sweeping hills and stuff. Just like it is a very bright.
Yeah.
It's the opposite of what we talked about with like Marvel and DC films. Like very bright film.
Yeah.
Like let's actually see people getting hit.
They do take advantage of like whatever visual quirks they can.
Yeah.
And they haven't got as many as they get offered in Marvel and stuff.
Whereas obviously like. I don't know, every time I say a DC film, you know they're gonna fight in the rain because apparently that's better.
Yeah.
Or maybe Hans Zimmer made it rain once, and everyone was like, "That's it, that's the way." Oh, Hans Zimmer, sorry, Christopher Nolan. I think Christopher Nolan has like paved the way for like. I don't think he wanted to. I think he probably regrets a little bit.
Yeah, it was like I want to say it was a new thing when he did it, but I'm not sure. But like, it's definitely not now.
It was probably a new thing in terms of how successful it was.
Yeah.
Like I don't think making a gritty superhero film was like his invention. But I don't think anyone has ever seen Batman like that. If you know.
It's the same. Like no one has ever seen, like we were saying, James, but no one has ever seen Bond like this as well. It's not Bond.
Again, it's not new.
It's not new. It's not new.
We've all seen like fight scenes with pop songs. We've all seen a Tarantino film.
Yeah, we've all seen knives coming out of shoes in The Dark Knight as well. Segway.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, when he does the clacking thing, that the Joker does the same thing. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think Kingsman tries to be anything.
No, there's not. I tell you the one thing I think is closest to being a masterpiece. I don't usually like just praising popular actors, but I think like Samuel L. Jackson's plot could fit into a really sophisticated superhero film.
Okay.
I think he's got like more motive than a lot of them. Like I don't want to say a lot of the Marvel villains because that's not true. Some of them like say like. Loki hasn't got really a motive, is he? He's just like, I'm a bad guy.
Again, we've talked about that, like, you watch Tom Hiddleston, you're like, what a great body. And then you realise it's just Tom Hiddleston's really good at things.
He's just good at, it's not the writing.
He could speak a dictionary and you'd be like, well said, sir.
Yeah.
Just,
But, like, with this one, I think you could read the writing and you'd be like, yeah.
That's fair.
Because, like, what's his plan? He, like, puts chips in people's heads so they're immune to his, like, virus. But, like, when he's talking to... It is, like, it's obviously not Barack Obama playing himself, but it's someone who's meant to be Barack Obama. He's like, oh, yeah. I hate it when politicians hide in the sand during crisis and then run for re-election. I want to get rid of people like that. Like, he's meant to be the bad guy, is he? Because I don't see what he's saying that's wrong, mate.
I know what you mean,
Which I like from a villain, to be fair. Like, when you see they point in some way, I think that's the best.
Yeah, whereas, like, as we've talked about numerous times, like, evil for the sake of evil is just awful.
Yeah.
Unless they're actually evil.
And when they got another trait, like, say, like, a genius tactician, like the villain in Mulan is fine.
Yeah. But
Samuel L. Jackson,
yeah, I think his plot is excellent.
I really like that, yeah. And like, I don't want to talk about the second one just yet, but more than her plot in the second one.
I think in the second one, and I think again, it's not a spoiler. I mean, her plot it's another one again relating back to what we talked about before. Same with Civil War of Captain America. That the second you like question the plot. It like totally falls apart.
She just wants money as a
it's just like, oh brilliant, what's the motive? And then you're like, oh of course it's to do this, and then you're like, yeah, but like that's you're actually just hoping that happens.
Yeah.
Her whole plot doesn't if she succeeds, then she's screwed, and if she doesn't succeed, then she's screwed. Like the whole plot is just basically like, oh, I've went mad with power. Like,
I am wondering if that is the point, because like there's probably a lot of Bond films. I'm not an expert on them, I haven't seen that many, Probably, I imagine a lot of old ones where if you think about the villain's plot, there's not much going on.
Okay. So you think it might be like
I think it
a
might be.
stylistic choice?
I wouldn't usually have thought that, but they've thought about it so much in the first film. I feel like they wouldn't just accidentally.
That's fair,
do
yeah.
that.
And I think it was ludicrous.
So the plot of Kingsman 2: The Golden Circle, again, this is quoting from IMDb. When their headquarters are destroyed and the world is held hostage, the Kingsman's journey leads them to the discovery of an allied spy organization in the US. These two elite secret organizations must band together to defeat a common enemy. Oof. Makes me want to watch the film, and I've seen it.
They hyped up the ridiculousness a lot more in this film.
Yeah, they did.
In terms of, I mean, there's less fight scenes granted in the first one, but I mean,
in the first one,
a lot more bizarre dialogue, bizarre like storylines, like miniatures. I mean, there was like 10 different storylines going on
in the second.
In the second one, yeah. I think every character pretty much introduced had some kind of plot.
Yeah.
It's like this girl says this isn't but her real dreams to do this.
It's to be,
even that's part of the plot. Do you know what I mean? She's like a character who's like 10 lines in the film.
Oh, Ali Berry's character.
Yeah.
That's
probably more than that, granted, but you know what I mean? Like, it's really bizarre that they sort of have actually written, and as you said, it probably is quite intentional, that they're like writing every character and right, you know.
If it was just the first film, I'd think it was all accidental, but I think they got so much, they avoided that so much in the first one.
I think it's a solid sequel.
I do as well.
I think it's not as good, but it couldn't have been.
It couldn't have been.
Done the same thing again, everyone would have hated it.
It was. They'd say this is just a hashed over retread. Yeah. I still think you can argue it is a hashed over retread, but it's a good hashed over retread.
Okay, yeah. Well, it has to be.
They can't do anything.
How do you know what's a hashed over? Like, it's like what's director, what's writing, and what's I mean, and it has to be a sequel, so like the second one can't be totally different. Do you know what I mean? So you have to argue with yourself, like, what is just renaming, like just doing the same thing again and then putting a different name on it. Where does that stop?
Yeah.
Or is it,
That's true, actually. Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, you could argue about like I don't know, most like romantic musicals. You could argue.
Yeah, I'm trying to even think of a good. I suppose it's like how the Star Wars prequels look totally different to the sequels, and everyone hated that. People were like, no.
Yeah.
Like, and yes, they like the first three Star Wars films and the second three like trilogy look similar, and so on to each other. They totally don't. They're not comparable at all. They literally look like two totally different sci-fi like series, except they both have lightsabers in them. Yeah. Like, you would not catch a character like General Grievous in the original trilogy. Like, that wouldn't happen. Like, the CGI and all that, but...
now I tell you some really strong bits of the first one, because I'm gonna let's mash them into one rather than going off.
I think the problem is we can't talk about the second one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's a wee bit Fight Clubby, so we have to...
But there's like that bit, because, like Samuel L. Jackson discusses spy film tropes, which I think that's amazing.
That's a funny
it's really obvious, but it's a good. Actually, that entire film is a good example of something really obvious, but being done well. I was
going to say that is not the whole, isn't it? Like, there's no subtlety.
And
you know who the enemy is. And you hear him.
And like we've said in I'm damned if I can remember what film we were on about, but we were saying might have been an Edgar Wright film, but I don't think so because it's quite different. But we've said in another episode of this examples of really obvious things done well. And I think that film is basically an hour and a half of that.
Disney? What about Disney?
It could have been Disney, yeah, but Kingsman I'd say is however long it is.
I think it was DreamWorks.
DreamWorks, was it?
I think it was the DreamWorks we were talking about, Over the Hedge and stuff like that. Like, these are really classic tropes.
Yeah, they've done really well, yeah.
So it's still funny. The village idiot. It's fine if it's funny.
Exactly, yeah, and that's Kingsman is classic tropes done well for a movie.
Because I think that's what people forget. They're like, they might say, Declan just doesn't like rom-coms.
Yeah.
I don't dislike rom-coms.
Just when they're good and when
they're
bad.
Good. Exactly. Like, if it's a generic trope of, boy meets girl.
Yeah.
Like, When Harry Met Sally is a great film.
Yeah.
It is just when boy... Granted, it tries to sort of not be that.
Yeah.
It is a very, when boy meets girl. And the film is obviously very self-aware, but... Or even, trying to think of other
500 Days of Summer.
Yeah, it's another one where, it's a very... And they even admit, this is a story of boy... Well, it's not quite boy meets girl.
Yeah.
They even tell you the plot
that comes into what I was going to say about Kingsman, because there's that bit where, he's outside the church after he's pretty much Colin Firth. In just after the scene that everyone loves with Freebird playing.
Yeah.
I need to watch that again because I didn't appreciate it that much when I was
really?
watching. No,
I think a lot of that film's very... It's like Scott Pilgrim. I think you can just put it on.
Put it on, yeah.
And you'd enjoy
for things like that, yeah.
It's a film you can put on during pre-drinks.
I was actually thinking
just have it on when I was walking around.
Yeah. I was thinking of Scott Pilgrim. I was thinking about this scene because maybe I need to watch it again because I felt like that church scene went on quite long.
Okay.
And everyone
fair.
else loves it, but I probably watch it again and think, no, that is amazing. But the bit after it is what really stands out to me, where
Yeah.
Samuel L. Jackson's like, oh, this is the part where I put a really elaborate trap out, and you find a really convoluted way to escape.
Yeah.
But this isn't that kind of movie, and shoots him in the end.
Yeah, it's like, alright.
Yeah.
Alright, yeah.
I mean, marred slightly by the fact there's a sequel, which it's not even a spoiler, it's on the trailer, Colin Firth's back in.
It's even
But
in the
if you
Meerkats, compare the Meerkats.
Yeah,
and
it is,
Colin Firth
yeah.
is in it,
Colin Firth
so-
doing the man as maketh man. That's another amazing. You know, like, have you seen the post-credit scene of the first film?
Is there a post-credit scene?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I was
Well,
like-
it might be mid.
Because I actually didn't. Sort of, everyone left us. Well, I don't know if there's a post-credit like
For
scene
the
for
second one,
We
no,
just
I
left.
don't know.
And I think we all assumed there wasn't.
There wasn't because it's not Marvel, and you just assume it's not.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I wouldn't have known about this if I wasn't watching it alone. But there is a bit at the very end where, like, you know, his stepfather.
Yeah.
He's in the pub that Colin Firth beat up his cronies in, and like Eggsy comes in like, a great man once said, manners maketh man, and then throws the glass at him, and then it cuts to black, and it's like, I like the fact they are doing that, but I would have actually wanted to see that in the film proper.
I just actually stuck it.
I know, because like one of my things, because my dad watched it, and we don't always like agree on films, but he does like certain ones, and he's like, that was the one
Is he
thing.
quite understanding? Like, he's not like my dad. He's very like. My dad like can't watch something like Inception. He'd be like,
I don't think he'd be fussed on it. No,
he's not like that, is he?
because he's usually not fussed on superhero films.
That's
at
what
all.
my dad.
It's
Anything
like,
that like he's like, well, I can just make it up then.
Yeah,
Same with,
like-
like James Bond. He's like, well, I just make up.
yeah, even like, because there are superhero films that are genuinely quite sophisticated, and
Yeah.
he'd focus on the 5 seconds where there's an explosion and say the old film was like
Oh,
that.
that's not. Yeah, how would that work? Whereas
Yeah.
my dad's favorite film is One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. We should probably say enough. Like his
Yeah.
whole like what he loves in a film is just like people talking. You know, most of that film is
Yeah.
literally just people arguing,
Oh,
and
my-
like that's what he loves.
My
in a film,
dad
like,
is
it's a great film.
Godfather's his favorite film, but that's like everyone.
Oh, okay, fair.
It's like Godfather, Shawshank Redemption.
Oh, it's literally the IMDb. list,
IMDb,
isn't it?
and then it's like Singing in the Rain, which is probably still on
I
the.
watched Singing in the Rain the other day. I love that film. I really do.
I need
yeah.
to watch it.
It's
again.
so good. Cosmo's characters is like absolutely hilarious. Like he's just
Is that Donald O'Connor?
O'Connor, yeah.
Oh, see, it's been mad to me by the fact that I found out he was a massive creep the other day.
Oh, was he?
But yeah,
Oh, don't ruin it.
okay, I won't say what
no.
happened then. But anyway, yeah, on to Kingsman. There's another bit as well. Like after he says, you know, the singing that
This is
kind
gonna
of
hurt
movie.
me for the rest of this episode. That's just gonna hover in the back of my
Well,
mind.
the singing in the rain. It's not even the film we're on about.
I know, we didn't mean like, but like, we done it. But sorry, continue.
It might have been Gene Kelly, but it's one of them anyway. It's
I
like,
hope it's Jim
yeah.
Kelly. Fuck it.
But there's like that bit, they're saying that kind of movie, and it's such a good callback at the end. Again, it's a classic example of a really obvious thing. And he's like, when he's dying, he's like, oh, you got me. This is the time to say like a really cool line. And Eggsy just goes, it's in that kind of movie, and Samuel L. Jackson's like, perfect. It's like, that's amazing.
Yeah.
It's another like one of those worthy opponent things, but like a really funny, like a really one of the most intelligent examples of that.
self-aware, like fourth wall breaks in the second one, is it?
No, I think they're not even fourth wall breaks in it. I think they're fourth wall, gently tapping on the fourth wall. I don't think it's completely
they
like,
ever.
because they're not
They do
they're not
literally
literally
say film in the first one, but I don't think they actually do in the second one.
they're not saying they're in a film. They're saying like if they were in the film, it wouldn't be this.
Yeah,
kind
that's
of film.
true. Yeah, it's not like Deadpool. Like,
It's very
obvious.
It's not
fourth
like,
wall break.
hi, I'm being played by actor Colin Firth,
Yeah,
which is
exactly.
literally what Deadpool is. all the way through,
Deadpool like is actually how I would explain the fourth wall.
yeah,
To people.
yeah.
I mean, I say that, but anyone who doesn't know what the fourth wall is,
Yeah. I think
Like,
everyone
can't
does
watch
know
that
because of
film.
Deadpool.
I was gonna say you can't watch that film as well. Like,
Yeah.
explaining to a 10-year-old via Deadpool would
Yeah,
be a bit
yeah,
violent.
it'd be too violent. Yeah.
But yeah, what do you call it? First one's better than the second one.
First one's better than the second one.
But that's fine.
Yeah. Let's go on to like we can talk a bit about the second one.
You can talk a bit about it. I mean, I think if everyone will know by now that.
Yeah, Colin Firth.
Well, I was gonna say the spoilers are in these podcasts. And
Yeah,
that's
we
okay.
can always put a spoilers tag when we put the title in
Yeah.
bracket spoilers, and then if you haven't watched these films, don't listen.
Or maybe we don't. We just hate our audience.
We just we don't want people to listen to it.
Only
That's the
people
point.
who've seen exactly the films we've watched.
Yeah,
and watch
exactly.
But yeah, what are you gonna say about the second one?
Were you alright with Colin Firth being back?
Honestly, I mean, again, I went into it knowing he was. Well, I mean, actually, I didn't know he was back because I actually hadn't seen the trailer for the second one. You told me he was back.
I'd
about a
seen the
couple of days
trailer,
before.
but like I thought, like I was just begging. I was like, oh, it's gonna be a hologram or a video, It's
Or a
not
past,
actually,
or like
but it wasn't.
sure, it's the same as people found out Hayden Christensen's going to be in the new Star Wars,
No.
and everyone's like, it's going to
Who's
be
he
like,
gonna be playing?
it's going to be a
flashback. Yeah.
it's not going to be actually.
Yeah.
It could be, but it's not going to be.
No.
Like, do you know what I mean? I doubt they're going to have an entire. It's in the same way that like, Luke was in, like Mark Hamill was in Episode 7.
Yeah.
It says nothing, and he stands
Says
there for 20
nothing.
seconds,
Yeah.
like,
He could have kept it on. It could have been any actor.
they should
Yeah.
use a cardboard cover.
And you would have known who it was from the lightsaber in the one arm.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I mean. Like him coming back doesn't mean anything. Whereas, I knew Colin Firth was back, so I was like, okay. And I actually thought I probably had survived that. I don't know how,
Yeah, they do explain it with technology, which I usually don't like.
I really don't like. Yeah.
But this one time, this is the most content I've been with a character in any film, I think, to be honest. Because I usually really I've got no patience for you.
Yeah, because I'm quite like,
if
in Fight Club, the infamous scene at the end, where it's like, what do you call it? When it's people are like I want it to be very obvious when I see someone getting like shot in the head or something.
Yeah.
I want to make it very obvious that they could survive that.
Yeah.
I.e., for a kid as awful as this is, i.e. the scene in Hot Fuzz when he gets stabbed. And then he's like, "Oh, it's just a bit of catch up." Like they explained it, and it was referenced.
It was referenced to something
this is
else,
how they're going to do it.
Yeah.
Like whereas in a film where you just watch someone like fall from a building like 40 stories and then just get up and you're like, "Excuse me, what?"
And he's not the only one who's back. He as well from the dead from the first film.
No.
Because Charlie, and I'm like, this isn't really that much of a spoiler because everyone's forgotten he was even in the first film. To be honest, if they hadn't shown the comparison picture, I wouldn't have known it was the same guy. No.
The other thing is they also used the trope for bringing Colin Firth back on another character, which almost makes it. It's not the real repetition makes. This scene redundant, as in like that's not the exact phrasing, but like something sounds weird the first time you hear it.
Yeah.
Once you've heard it 1,000 times. Or like you've seen it, so you'll be like, oh, this film can't have this futuristic technology. But if they use the futuristic technology throughout the whole film,
it's fine. Yeah.
Like the Force in Star Wars. But
if that came on,
been around for 40 years.
Yeah, if they came on,
as in like since the 70 something like that, when it came out.
If you just did that at the end, it'd be like they pulled that out of their ass.
Exactly, but because it's through all the films and there's loads of books, there's loads of games, it doesn't matter. So people in the new ones are just like, oh, it's Force.
I feel like they still did pull the technology thing in Kingsman a bit out of their ass because you don't see anything quite that advanced in the first film.
No.
But then it's set in another, like they don't have it in the British sector. It's the American sector
that's
providing
fair. I was because I love you were going to say new universe, and I was like, you mean like 3,000 miles away? Like another country. Very Americanized. I don't know if that's because of the plot of the film to have some of it set in America, or if it was to do with the American audience. I actually don't know.
I don't know either. I like the fact it was though,
because people were like, "Oh, it was very Americanized." This one, I was like, but the first one also made by Americans.
Oh, Matthew Vaughn's British.
I thought the team was like.
Oh, the teammate, Matthew Vaughn himself.
I thought it was an American film, wasn't it? I don't know. I actually couldn't tell you what.
Probably
makes
a joint effort. Yeah.
I actually couldn't tell you what makes a British film.
No, because like that My Family sitcom is created by an American, and everyone thinks well, that'd be a British.
It's a British comedy. Yeah, exactly. That's fair. Yeah. But yeah, it's not what I mean though. Is it's not Americanized like how The Office and the American Office, where like just literally take a photo. It's brighter. The actors are like tan on and stuff. Where the first one they all look really dingy.
Yeah.
And like the girl that like we know he's going to end up with is like I don't mean this stuff, but she's like they've made her look like an average girl that you actually would fancy.
Yeah.
They don't make her look like Scarlett Johansson, whereas the American one they would have Scarlett Johansson. You know what I mean? Commonly the American equivalent.
Yeah.
Will from In-Betweeners looks a bit weird, but the American one he doesn't. He looks like a pretty normal guy.
He looks quite good looking, to be fair.
Yeah, you're like, oh, right.
They all do except for Jay. They've gone the opposite way.
Yeah, whereas Jay's arguably...
He looks more like Big John.
I was going to say he's arguably the most attractive out of the four, but I don't know.
Or in the original British one. When he's got a different haircut.
When you see them in interviews and they have like a bit of facial hair, like wearing normal clothes.
Yeah.
Like, you guys are like actually clearly quite cool.
Yeah.
It's the ugly Betty thing, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah, and apparently you're repulsive, yeah.
But, what do you call it? But, what was our point?
Americanized.
Americanized, that was our point. Yeah, so I feel like it was weird because people were like, oh, it's very Americanized, but it's like, it wasn't really Americanized in any way except that they were American.
They were wearing Tangana hats and going, hey, welcome straight to me.
It was still very, it's not like all of a sudden the dialogue changed.
No, yeah, exactly, changed. No. I don't think, no, there wasn't that much of a change in tone. which is good. When it's hard, you'd think it'd be really hard to avoid that when they go
Yeah.
to another country.
Yeah. I don't know them.
I think they handle it pretty well. It's a dated view of America, but it's a dated view of British people in the first film because
Yeah,
they don't all go around suited and booted and saying, "Hey, hello."
Well, I suppose maybe that's kind of what
That's
they're
the point,
implying,
yeah,
isn't it?
yeah.
They're implying that James Bond is like doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah,
Like, it doesn't
exactly.
work anymore. But
They acknowledge him as fiction as well. They talk about the James
yeah,
Bond
yeah,
films,
I always found that really weird when you watch.
because the film's more ridiculous than James Bond. You mean?
Not even just that, I find it odd for some reason when like it's really hard to pull off well. I think when you watch a film and they're like, "Oh, I've been reading Sherlock Holmes,"
Yeah,
and you're like, "How could you?"
I tell you a good example where I thought they didn't pull it. Have you seen Raising Hope, the sitcom?
No.
It's like a very sitcom-y sitcom. You can
Oh, yeah.
tell. You're well aware you're watching a
Yeah,
sitcom.
okay, yeah.
And then there's one
Very
episode.
like pause for laughter, is it?
Yeah, it hasn't got canned laughter, but it is like that.
But that's not you. Oh no.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's one like episode where something happens, and then they go, "Oh, I've seen this on Modern Family and a few other sitcoms." But Modern Family is more used at the time was more realistic than Raising Hope.
Yeah.
It was less of a trappings of a sitcom because it's like a
Yeah.
mockumentary as well. Modern Family.
Yeah.
So it's like they just watch people for entertainment who have like more normal lives than them.
Yeah. Another one we had was because I was always like, when you write a sitcom, how do you keep up to date with what your character says is real and what isn't? So The Simpsons do a lot of pop culture.
Yeah.
So for example, The Simpsons have had Ricky Gervais write episodes and star in an episode.
Yeah.
But he didn't play Ricky Gervais. He played
No.
a Ricky Gervais-esque character.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
therefore, they can't reference Ricky Gervais.
Yeah, because he's exactly
Even
like
though
this other guy.
no
yeah.
one cares. It's a continuity thing.
Yeah,
But
that's fair.
me and my brother were like, I wonder how you keep up to that. And then we realized, and we used Friends as an example, and then we realized that like their favorite film is Die Hard, and like Rachel dates Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
there's
that's
we were like,
annoying.
it was the episode
I hate stuff like
It
that.
was the episode where what do you call it? Matt Damon. Matt Damon's in that episode, isn't it?
Was he? Right.
He was. Might be wrong there, but
He
I don't know.
probably
It was an
was.
actor like that. We were like, oh, I wonder if they've ever referenced, like they can't reference like Jason Bourne in a
Yeah.
previous episode then, or
Yeah.
in the future, because they'll be like,
They
wait a
do that
minute.
in Girls as well on HBO. They mention like Zachary Quinto, and then he shows up in another episode. He's not playing himself; he's playing a fictional character.
You're like,
So there's
shit,
someone in
why
that
has no one
universe
noticed that
who
like
looks
you look
exactly
exactly
like someone who exists. Yeah.
I feel like there's
Already on half an hour.
Ooh.
For me.
ooh,
Oh
I
man,
feel like there's another.
probably need to edit
There's
this
some
down.
TV show I feel like
They do it all the time.
that
Yeah.
they actually say, wait a minute, don't you look exactly like? I did actually. Do you want to watch the other day? I can't remember if it's Ocean's 11 or Ocean's 12. I watched the first two of them like last week, and in one, I think it's the second one. Julia Roberts plays Julia Roberts. You know why she's. You know why
She pretended in Ocean's
like
12
Julia
to steal an
Roberts,
egg,
yeah.
and she meets Bruce Willis as well.
And then he's
Yeah.
like, wait a minute.
And she's really excited because it's Bruce
So
Willis.
she has
oh
to.
my
Julia
God.
Roberts
Yeah.
has to play. It's a funny parody of it in terms of like it's a funny way to parody. What's the like parody that like wait a minute would you look like
Yeah.
this character? But
I don't think the film's funny enough to that they
that's
should have
fair.
as
It was a
plot
really
points.
really bizarre
'Cause
scene
it's-
in that film.
There are funny bits in the first one, but it's not really a comedy per se. So it's like, yeah.
No, it is very much a heist film. It wants to be a heist film.
Yeah.
The whole film is heisty. And,
Yeah.
But should we move on to Kick-Ass?
Kick-Ass, okay.
Should we go for Kick-Ass? Or?
Yeah, let's go for Kick-Ass first. Stardust last, because that might be my... Yeah, I'm going to say it's my favourite of the four Stardust.
Really?
Yeah, I
Fair.
really like Stardust. But anyway, Kick-Ass, yeah.
Kick-Ass.
Okay, so the plot for Kick-Ass is David Lazuski is a unnoticed high school student and comic book fan who one day decides to become a superhero, even though he has no powers, training, or meaningful reason to do so. That's quite a good summary. from
That's
IMDb.
a solid, that's
Yeah.
concise, that, right there.
Yeah.
Who writes these?
Ooh.
What was your first impression watching Kick-Ass?
Again, didn't watch it when it came out. I watched
No,
it
me neither.
afterwards, which I actually do think makes a massive difference. Because like when you watch it and you're at someone's house or you're like at your home or whatever, and you've read before someone said to you, oh by the way, this film's really good. Then I'm like, okay, or like any of the film, oh this is really weird. Then I sit down and go, oh I hear this is really weird, and I've read about it before and stuff. Whereas if you sit down just like walk in the cinema, film you've never seen the trailer for, you've no
Yeah,
idea.
you've
It's like,
no
is this a
idea.
joke? Is this meant to be? Is it high budget? Is it low budget? Is it,
Yeah.
what do you call it? But yeah, no, I watched Kick-Ass afterwards.
Yeah, same. I didn't watch it in the cinema.
Was not what I expected. I expected more of the sort of scenes where where he like tries to pick on a guy, like tries to fight a bully, well not bully, a criminal, and then
Yeah.
the guy just stabs him.
Yeah.
And it's like,
He has run over as well.
Yeah,
It's like genuine. He was lucky to survive.
yeah. But there's that, and then there's what's the word I'm looking for? Like that's what I expected more of, and instead I got more Nick Cage and odd scenes in that film.
Oh, I mean, God, you have to be prepared for well, Nick Cage isn't in the second film, but stuff like it's just like there is some level of realism in the first
I
film.
want to believe that Nicolas Cage. That's just him. That's what Nicolas Cage is actually like.
I'm actually quite sad when he died in the first film, to be honest. And I don't like. I mean, I'm gonna be like everyone else. I don't really like Nicolas Cage, but I'm not.
You're wrong. He's the greatest actor.
He's the greatest actor ever.
To be fair, in interviews he said like, you know, people can say what they want about me. But
I'm still making.
I'm the most. I'm he was like, I'm the most referenced. I'm one of the most referenced actors for my style.
People
were like, what are you talking about? He was like, I'm not saying I'm a good actor.
Yeah.
But when people sort of overact or scream very loudly in a film,
they always say him.
Take Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
Like, just think, he was like, his point was that like sometimes you have to look for success in other things. Like his success is becoming a trope.
Yeah.
Becoming like a classic character. And like as you said, when you watch it, it doesn't matter if it's something like that or if it's Raising Arizona, the Coen Brothers.
That's a good film.
Which is bizarre that he's in that, and then he's in freaking some of these awful films.
Yeah.
But Nicolas Cage has become like a household name.
Coen Brothers episodes, that'd be good.
Oh, for me, yeah.
I quite like them.
Yeah, and there's a lot to say about them.
Yeah.
What do you call it? But yeah, Nicolas Cage is very, he's more referenced than anyone.
Yeah, I quite like him as a person now that I know he said that. I admire that a lot. Yeah, I admire that a lot, to be fair. Like more than his acting, and that's fine. That's what he wants.
He's like a cripplingly broke.
Yeah.
He owns like 50 houses. He just keeps buying houses, and he like is losing money on them because he's a bizarre man. But
he's probably mental, yeah.
He probably is mental.
I mean, he turned out a satisfying enough performance in Kick-Ass.
I think he plays that well, because I think if it was like a really serious actor, you'd be like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Whereas because it's him being like, he bought her handgun for her birthday. It's like, that's part of the fun, isn't it?
He shoots her with the vest on, yeah.
Is it Kick-Ass? I haven't watched it in a while. It is Kick-Ass where he pretends to be gay.
Yeah, he does.
That's the weirdest subplot.
Now that's like
the Peter Parker plot.
Yeah.
Of that film.
But like that is in the film, like when he says, I'm not gay. She like goes out with him. In the comic, when he says that, she hates him forever, doesn't talk to him again. That's more realistic.
A funny, way of.
And the film, I think for something that keeps saying it's being realistic and is not saying it ironically, it doesn't do enough realistic stuff.
Doesn't think it's realistic.
Sometimes there's
I thought that it was
the second film does definitely. It's like
really?
This isn't a comic book world when there's things more ridiculous than the standard comic book world going on.
Yeah, but that
doesn't apply as much.
Doesn't Chloe Moretz like reload in midair and stuff like?
You
can't do that stuff.
I know. It's like that's just bullshit.
I get, that it's more realistic in terms of the stab scene.
The stabbing.
That's what I was expecting. I was expecting it to become like I thought it was going to be one of these films where like Juno rather than being like, honey, I'm pregnant. It was going to be like this really.
He's actually honest about it.
So I thought I was going to watch a kid being like, I'm going to be a hero, and then it would turn into like, but he's our hero. He's not a very good one.
There was the guy getting stabbed going to the birthday party. That's a bit of reality.
Yeah, but like there's too much. The film then totally changes tone when Nicolas Cage and Chloe Moretz. I'm actually a big fan of Chloe Moretz.
What else has she been in? Carrie.
Father, actually. She's the
sister, yeah, she is, isn't she? Yeah. I thought that was
hilarious.
I confused her with Little Miss Sunshine.
She's doing the smart thing. She's doing a lot of plays and stuff at the moment. As if to be like to avoid the transition.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, she's probably like 22, 23 now, but she's doing like that. I'm gonna step away, and then I'm gonna come back at some Oscar-winning film anyway. And But no, I'm quite like her. I've never seen a film and been like, oh no.
Nah, she's in it.
Fucking Dargo would be good as well.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think the second one. Is in one of them.
In which one?
I can't remember which Dargo would be good, but she's in the first and second one.
Oh, she might be. Yeah.
Because I think it's one of those ones where the love interest changes. I think it's the first one because the freaking cheeks touch. I'm quite fond of the Dargo because films. Really didn't like the books, but like the films surprised me.
See, I like what I've heard about the books, but I've never read.
I don't know why I'm defending this film, but
Chloe Moretz.
But what about Kick? What do you wish it was more comic booky, or do you wish it was more?
I wish it was more real because there's so many things like when I read the comic that like the reality in certain bits in the comics are far too clever that you'd think could be worth printing.
Yeah.
Like Nicolas Cage, well, his character is not only in the comic, obviously, when he's dying, he reveals, his backstory about being a policeman.
Oh yeah.
That's all a lie, and he's just a comic book artist. He's just a fanboy like Kick-Ass.
Oh.
And he sold all of his comic books to get like the equipment. That's a much better story than the typical.
Is that the book? Then he just lied.
He just lied. But that makes more sense.
Does he lie to redeem himself, or does he lie?
What about the policeman thing?
Yeah.
I think he lies to motivate Hit Girl.
Oh, to make her feel like we are good people.
Yeah.
Actually, you're just
he lies to motivate Hit Girl, and then he still gets burned like he does in the film. He's like,
okay.
oh yeah, none of that stuff about being a policeman. I never was. I'm not an ex-cop. I'm just a fanboy like you. I think that's so much better.
Again, as you said, turning the comics thing on its head. Where it is the classic trope of oh,
my wife died, and it's because of a bad guy who I'm still hunting.
Yeah,
oh my god, shut up.
Yeah.
Even in a comedy film, I'm still like, shut up.
Yeah.
And do you see him drawing it in comic form, his life as an ex-cop? So that, I think at some point they wanted to use this story from the comic of him being a fanboy, and then they thought, no, let's do this. I really don't know why. I
can't think of why. There's no obvious reason that I can think of. Maybe it's too long.
And also, you don't know that Red Mist is the son of the villain for a while. You don't know until in the comics. But you see Christopher Mintz-Plasse saying, "Hey, I'm gonna dress up as a villain and trick Kick-Ass."
Right, okay, yeah.
But in the comic, it's a surprise when you find out
really?
it's the son of And again, I think that's a better idea. I don't know why.
That's really weird.
Mark Strong. I just realised he's in Kick-Ass and Kingsman. Merlin. Stanley Tucci looking. He's the villain. I'd forgotten he was the villain. I tell you what, it's quite I really thought it was Stanley Tucci in bloody Kick-Ass because he's doing an American accent as well. That's the only way to tell them apart usually. Because they look exactly the same. They really do.
Because there's loads of actors like that. You think I think you get by being this. So
he's usually a villain apart from in Kingsman where he's a good guy. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I saw a clip of, I can't remember if it was Baby Daddy. I think one of those awful during the day sitcoms on E4.
Yeah.
But one of the guys literally looks like Chris Pratt, but he doesn't look like Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
Actually,
the older brother of the.
He looks like when you're flicking through.
Yeah.
And I think that's what he's for. It's the Simpsons went yellow. They just hired him as he looks a bit like Chris Pratt, but not enough to be Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
A bit to look a bit like him.
Yeah.
There definitely are actors who just get by looking a bit like this.
Yeah.
But I think I enjoy Kick-Ass. I don't think I'm gonna watch it again.
No, to be honest, no. I basically I was entertained, but it was I was pretty much until I found out what happened in the comic. I was like, why the hell didn't they?
I kind of wish it was an Edgar Wright film.
Yeah.
I actually thought it was when I first watched it because I actually when you were talking about doing an Edgar Wright episode, I was like, oh yeah, Kick-Ass.
And then I found out it was Matthew Vaughn, and then we ended up doing it anyway.
Yeah, exactly. But I thought, I had it in my head that he was involved or something. I don't know.
He might have been involved, but I don't know how much.
It might be how Tim Burton made Coraline, but he didn't. He was just there on set.
Was he? I didn't know he was affiliated.
I think the guy who made it is same as the Disney producer.
Henry Selick is the director.
Is it Henry Selick? Yeah. What else is Henry Selick done?
Nightmare Before Christmas. Tim Burton didn't direct it.
But Tim Burton, I think it's one of these things where they met on Nightmare Before Christmas, and then Tim Burton sort of is just standing there.
Yeah.
See me Coraline, maybe go and do this or do that, but I don't think he actually had an influence.
No.
But it's arguably one of the most famous Tim Burton films. There he is.
There is
no influence.
Yeah, Tim Burton's Nightmare Before Christmas. To be fair, in the Nightmare Before Christmas, he did everything that wasn't directed.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, so it's fair with that one, yeah.
But whereas Coraline,
yeah.
I mean, as you're saying, you don't even know if he actually did do it.
I don't think he did.
That's if you look up, if I said you'd name, well, not you, if I said the average person named 5 Tim Burton films, I'd say Coraline would probably be on most people's list. But yeah, I don't think I'm gonna watch Kick-Ass again. I didn't watch the second one.
Probably not.
Let's put it that way.
I don't know whether I'll watch. No, I will watch Kingsman 2 again, but not for the time it's in the cinema.
Not for a
while. I will watch it.
I'll definitely watch it as someone you'll meet in the future, in years to come. Will be like, oh, I never watched Kingsman, and you'll be like, oh, we'll watch the first.
Yeah, watch the first. Yeah,
because by then they'll be
10. Yeah. Oh, I tell you one thing I do want to mention about Kingsman that I had in my head, and I just went past it. The singing country road scene.
Yeah,
that is really powerful.
It's in the soundtrack quite a lot.
It's in the soundtrack a lot, yeah. But when Mark Strong said that is, I know it's not new seeing pop songs and dramatic sequences, but I think that's a really new way of doing it.
And at least it was a joke.
When have you ever seen that specific situation in a film?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
I like that.
And again, isn't that what they're dancing about, classics?
Yeah.
They jump up, oh, this is what James Bond would do, or this is what I would do, but not exactly.
Mm.
So, But yeah, have you any more thoughts on Kick-Ass, or is that you, do you think?
I think that's pretty much me for Kick-Ass.
Right, we'll finish up on
Stardust.
your fave.
Yeah,
Your fave,
I really like Stardust. You've seen
I've
it
seen
as well,
Stardust,
yeah?
yeah. Not in a very long time.
Not in a long time.
Okay, so the plot for Stardust, according to IMDb. In a countryside town bordering on a magical land, a young man makes a promise to his beloved that he'll retrieve a fallen star by venturing into the magical realm. That's not bad either. Is it?
That's pretty solid.
Yeah.
Solid. That definitely happens in the film.
Something, Ricky Gervais.
He's in it for 2 seconds.
Yeah,
Funny enough, the author who wrote the book also wrote the book of Coraline.
Really?
Segues.
Segues.
Oh, I don't even mean to do it half the time.
It's
It's like,
useless information that was stored up, and that's all this is for.
I know.
You don't need to know that.
No.
You have no need to know.
No, it's just cool too, yeah.
But yeah, why is it? Why do you love it so much? Why is it?
I think it's like, I mean, it's a fairly unique plot. You've seen loads of things about. He's basically trying to find his mother, is what it starts off as, isn't it? I mean, I guess you've seen a few films where someone's trying to find their mother.
Yeah.
Not really in a fantasy world, though. I don't think they usually try and be realistic when there's things about people
Yeah.
trying to find their mother.
It does fantasy. I think it unfortunately. I don't know if it came out because when Hollywood jumps on like a bandwagon. So the bandwagon at the moment is Game of Thrones. So there's loads of these fantasy crap coming out at the moment.
Yeah.
And then there was like the teen vampire thing, where there's like 5 TV shows, all but Twilight was out, and
Yeah.
I think that what do you call it? I think Stardust. I don't know if it came out or someone wanted to make it into film as a reaction to Harry Potter and stuff being out, or if it just unluckily came out around that period. But I feel like it gets overlooked.
Yeah.
That's quite a fantasy thing, but it is pretty
Really
like,
good, yeah.
exactly.
And it's like, it's not like, oh, we've seen all this before type stuff, because like,
That's
there's
what I mean, it's
the-
not at all. It
there's
doesn't-
the
it
dead
doesn't even
princes,
look-
and Mark Strong's one of them as well, I think, actually.
Be sure.
I'm pretty sure he's in it.
People believe it. So it is. It's
Yeah.
Mark Strong. Mark Strong, definitely.
No, it's not
Don't
Stanley
look it up.
Tucci anyway.
Could be Stanley Tucci.
Like, what is the difference? I really don't know. I
I
really
bet you if we
struggle.
look them up, they don't look anything alike.
I know, but in Kingsman, I was like, it took me a good while to
Do you know
figure
what I mean?
out
I
what
feel
it
like
was.
if you actually knew
Like,
them, you'd
side to
never
side,
actually
yeah,
go,
yeah.
"Oh, who's that?
Yeah.
Who's that?" But what else? What else? What Stardust do you appreciate so much?
Oh, now, I know he's already long, but I liked Robert De Niro subverting the Eddie
Okay,
Enzo.
fair. I like
I know
Robert
he's-
De Niro in most things. to be
in
fair.
most things.
Even though his career sort of
Yeah,
he's given up on the method acting
yeah,
stuff,
like
I still quite
background
like
power
him.
and stuff now, yeah.
I think he doesn't have to do.
No, he doesn't now.
Like-
He's got a body work he can look back on now. He's just collecting the
Yeah, it's fun. He
proceeds,
seems to have fun. I think
Yeah,
he has a lot
exactly.
of fun with a lot of films, and he seems to he brings joy to me, and that's fine.
Yeah,
I enjoyed him in Meet the Parents. You know what I mean?
yeah.
He doesn't need to lose weight for that role.
No, Christian Bale would have if he had the role.
Christian Bale would freaking
But he's the same as
done
Ben
heroin
Stiller,
for
so
that
it's
role,
like, yeah.